Okay, my name is Zakashi, guys, and I feel like this is a very anticipated video because people want to know how you can actually master and counter, but the big part being counter. How you can counter Ultra Gogeta Blue because he is actually a menace in PvP. He's a guy that's causing a lot of people problems, and literally you want to have somebody to fight against him. You want to have a method of actually going against him so that you can get the upper hand. I'm going to be breaking down how you can do that and actually showing you how to use him at the same time, so it comes hand in hand. If you know how to use him, you would know how to work against him. So yeah, hopefully this video is going to be useful. Press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. Recently hit our goal of 35,000 subscribers for the end of the year. I'm very grateful for all the love and support on the channel, man. It means a lot. We're only going up from here. Big thing coming in 2023. Trust me. Tap in and press that red button. All my social media links going to be on the bottom of the screen. It's the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. So make sure to check me out on all of those. Want to point out that I live stream every single day. So if you see me live, definitely be sure to press the live button, man. It's the best place to ask me any questions. It's some good entertainment. Ask anybody that be in there. And I want to point out that I'll be doing a 24-hour live stream sometime soon. So tap into that if you see me live doing a 24-hour live stream. So some support, man. But yeah, I'm not holding you guys up any longer. Like I said, I appreciate the love and support. Good thing coming in the future. Let's get into this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to get into is the best units to use to actually counter Ultra Gogeta Blue, and this is in order. You can see the list here. Number one, we got Ultra Super Vigio. The good thing about Ultra Super Vigio is that he actually builds up sustained damage every time he does a card against the actual enemy that he's fighting. It's very, very good. You can see here the following effects occur every time this character uses a Strike or Blast Arts card, and you can see it there at the bottom. It says it inflicts enemies your attribute downgrade plus 50% to damage received for 10 timer counts. Now what's good about that is that Ultra Gogeta Blue isn't actually immune to any of those factors off rip, so you can actually build up against him so that you can do one big attack with no matter who you're using on your team. If I'm mistaken, correct me, but basically on the start of the battle he's not immune to anything like that, so you can actually build up a lot of damage against him. That's very good to know. That's number one. He is easily a nuclear weapon against Ultra Gogeta Blue. You can one-shot him if you get in the right position, but you're going to still need a lot of stars, and it depends on the star difference, of course. But you'd want to build Ultra Super Vegeta or Ultimate based, so his Ultimate can actually take him out very, very easily. Number two, the best way to take out fire is by fire and fire and fire. Now, if you got a bigger fire, your fire is going to suffocate the smaller fire. Now, your Ultra Gogeta Blue just has to be better than the other Ultra Gogeta Blue, or you simply have to fight and make it a skill issue. If you're better, you're going to succeed. You have the same unit, you're going to do good. Obviously, I don't need to explain why, but that just makes a lot of sense. Now, Beast Gohan, he's literally a unit that was literally the #1 unit before Ultra Gogeta Blue came around. So obviously, he's still going to be a top tier fighter. Just because Ultra Gogeta Blue is coming to the game, the meta does shift, but that doesn't mean he completely leaves. And let's not forget that Ultra Gogeta Blue is a movies unit, so he fits very well on the same team as Beast Gohan, considering they're from the same Saga from the movies. It's a movies team in a sense. You just have to use UGB on leader slot. Going next, Zamasu, he's very good at just surviving for a long time. He's on boost. He's very, very tanky. Very, very useful overall. Endurance is a big pain. Counter, big pain. Combo stopping because of the key reduction, big pain. There's a lot of things that are really, really jarring with him, and literally Ultra Gogeta Blue users are gonna have to push through. Yes, he does have the rush to nullify the endurance, but with that, besides from that rush, you'll be living a long time if you're using a team that utilizes Zamasu as a defensive menace. In the same way that I just spoke about Zamasu, I have this guy here, Android 17. I sometimes always say 18. I don't know what's wrong with me. Android 17. Now you're probably wondering why Forku isn't here, and I would actually say him and Forku are actually interchangeable. But the only reason that I'm putting 17 here is because he's built to actually absorb damage so that he can really just heal it back straight away. It's actually dumb. If you let him take a lot of damage early on, GT as a whole, they keep healing. Mad annoying. They keep healing, they continuously keep healing, and they're always gonna keep healing, and they're just gonna outlive you in a battle of endurance. I don't know where it is specifically in the kit, but after a certain amount of time accounts, he literally just gains a lot of health. I believe it's probably in the second one. Here, arts card if enemy health is 70% or left, restores 30% of damage received after enemy attack is over, up to 30% of own health. He heals up a lot. Like, it's actually a lot from that bit there. I think he heals from his main ability, does he? Restores ally health, just useful for the team. A lot of bits and bobs there. He's gonna live for a long time, the same way as the master is gonna live for a long time. Oh, here's another bit here. 30 counter lapse. This is actually what I was looking for. 30 counter lapse, restores own health by 30% and increases arts card draw speed. Build health restoration, you're gonna be at full health. He literally did all that damage for no reason. And if he's a defensive menace as well, long day. LF4Q, you could put him on the list, but that's only because he's a yellow. That doesn't necessarily mean he's the best counter. But if you get him on the last starting position, the ultimate is gonna nuke. So if you want to swap out 17, I will mention LF4Q, the Zenkai 7, as an honorable mention. And then Ultra Super Gogeta, we have him here. Ultra Super Gogeta is literally only here because he comes with 2 ultimates and he can give you a good position. Say if you're running Fusion Warriors, right? He kills one of your units. Your last 2 units are USG, USB. 5-second lock-in. You get priority straight away somehow. You also have the freedom to rush if they have no vanish. Easily the best counter to actually give you a straight position to actually murder Ultra Gogeta Blue. The lock-in when one homie is dead can literally reverse the game off one play because of the lock-in. That's the reason why Ultra Gogeta Blue is on the list. I mean, Ultra USG is on the list. Ultra USG is on the list. He has 2 ultimates as well. Type neutral. A lot of factors why he's usable, and I use him literally all the time. So this is what I'd go for. The honorable mention being LF4. Okay, so with Ultra Gogeta Blue, I'd say there's about 5 things that you need to be wary about, and I'm gonna go through them one by one before I actually give you some techniques on how you should play about it. So if you go to show details, the first thing I want to talk about is his green card. His green card gives him a blue card, and that happens twice. You can't cover change to save yourself for 10 timer counts. Very important to note. But the big thing is that after 60 timer counts, he's able to restore his Vanish Engage by 70%. Restoring his Vanish Engage by 70% will keep him in the game a lot longer, and he'll be able to 3v1 you if you're not wary. He will literally stop you from actually quickly getting priority, even though he's lost it. So if he draws another green card, he's literally able to gain that back. But what makes it worse is that after 30 timer counts, he literally gets a Super Saiyan buff type shit, and he's able literally just, he's like a Zenkai buff. But it gets worse. He gets another buff after 60 timer counts as well. So the 60 timer count mark, you need to really think about, alright, cool, we need to take this guy out. Even 30 timer counts in, you should be thinking about rushing this guy. I'm not even gonna lie, because the longer he stays alive, the odds of you winning go down. That's a very big thing to know. Number 2, the main ability, he destroys all your cards. It's not anything else, it's just the fact that he destroys all your cards. He pops that, he destroys all your cards. Now, I had to repeat that because the only way to get rid of this guy really, really fast, unless you're using UGB himself, is to have a very powerful ultimate or a Rising Rush. If you have an ultimate and he destroys it, you just lost your odds. You're gonna have to fight back so hard and do probably 3 combos against his 1. That's very unfair, but that's what it is. So you need to make sure that your ultimates do not get destroyed. Use it in a time where he cannot use his main ability, because that will count you out. You just get counted out immediately. Unless you're going to get major parries and make it a skill issue against him, which is already against you, that's lowering your odds. You need to make sure that your ultimate, if you have an ultimate for whoever you're using, even if you're using UGB, make sure that it's in a position where he cannot destroy your cards. Now, the part I want to talk about is his Rising Rush. Now, it's not the fact that he nullifies endurance, because there's nothing you can do about that. There's no counter to that. You just have to not get Rising Rush. There's no counter to nullifying his endurance. There's not, I mean, him nullifying endurance, there's no counter to that. I need you guys to know that. But it's the restore Vanish Engage by 100%. If he rushes you and he misses and he lost his Vanish, keep in mind that he got his Vanish back because he pressed the rush. Applies the following effects to self when his character activates Rise and Rush. Restores Vanish Engage by 100%. The nullify endurance bit is there, and it says at the bottom, restores own key by 50 upon landing a strike or blast starts activate response. That's just the next bit. But the Rise and Rush 100% gauge thing, mad annoying. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is about his unique gauge. Now, you need to be watching his unique gauge the whole game, because his unique gauge will catch you when you're hitting him. So it will be at a point where you're at an advantage. If you're touching him in any single way, tap attacks, strike arts, blast arts, blue card, ultimate arts, his gauge is going to fill, and that's bad for you. It will catch you at the most inconvenient time because you'd be thinking you'd be getting ahead, But literally, all these things, you see this fat paragraph here, it will start happening. The first time his gauge fills, 30% healing. He goes type neutral after that as well, every single time. He can't be cover changed for 10 time accounts. Literally, reduces the sub counts for the allies, reduces your Dragon Balls, which is annoying. But the main thing is that he destroys your strike cards. Now, destroying all of your strike cards forces your hand to actually use a blast art. So what I want you to do, every single time that you're fighting UGB, get the blasts out of your hand first. Get the blast out of your hand first, because if you use the blast after he's filled his gauge, you will fall to his unique gauge, obviously, and that's when it'd be an issue, where he can combo literally I believe it's his blue card and ultimate right over here. So if we read this bit here, if own unique gauge is full, consumes entire unique gauge to counter enemies blast arts and most range special move and special arts. Literally, that is mad inconvenient, bro. It's like Blue Lock when they pass the perfect assist, bro. Isagi's passing it to Ichigo, bro. It's the perfect assist for him to literally destroy you. It's an amazing counter. It's better than MUI. It's literally the worst thing we could have got this year, but it's a big thing to note. If you're fighting him, get the blast out of your hand first. I know he's doing less damage, unless you know you're going to kill him or something like that. But regardless, you can do it in any order. Just stay wary of his gauge. Now, I'd say the big thing to actually watch with him is when he's able to catch you with them green card time frame stops. It's actually mad annoying because he's gonna get a blue card for the first 2 times, and if the first 2 times he lands both blue cards, he's probably in a position to kill you. So if you see him sidestep, or if you see him vanish step you, be very wary that a green card's coming up. Be very wary that a blue card's coming up. Don't be too pushy if you think he has a green card. Think about if he hasn't done a green card for a long time. It's literally the easiest way to get one shot. So he has so many opportunities to catch you in a freeze frame from sidestepping. He has 2 green cards and he has a main ability. I know you have green cards too, but at least with your green cards, most units, they're not going to draw blue cards. If anything, almost all units don't draw blue cards from their green cards, but he does, and he draws 2. So if he catches you, unlike everybody else would have to do a long combo, he'd actually just hit you with a nuclear blue. So what I'd say is, when you're face to face with him like this, learn gliding. Gliding will get you in a better position so fast. Literally, if you're gliding close range, you're in a position where you're just waiting for him to hit the blue card animation, and then if he hits the blue card animation, you're good. If he hits the green card animation, you're good. One other thing that you can do to actually counter the fact that he can time stop you, you literally tap the screen a lot when you're close range. Do not even think about trying to catch the sidestep. Don't, just stop all the action. Just tap him. Tap him, get back in your personal space. Don't let him get too close, because if he catches you in a time freeze frame, it's grits. It's actually grits. I didn't mention it earlier, but be very wary of doing blast arts from long range, because everybody does the blast armor pro move. Now, if you do a blast art from long range, the odds are he's going to blast through you and do that sidestep thing. And if you're not wary, what you're going to do is dash up in an attempt to actually cancel your blast arts and sidestep. But what would happen is, because you did the blast, he would actually cancel his strike arts first. And by the time he's done that, you would meet him at mid-range and you'd be in a sidestep and he'd catch you. It's free food. So what you need to be wary of is the blast armor. When you see him going through your blast armor, what you do is you actually strike and then, dash up, sorry, not strike, to counter the blast armor pro move that he's going to do. You dash up and tap the screen. So you dash up and tap the screen. So when he's at mid-range sidestepping, you should be able to hit him with the combo, you know what I'm saying, the taps, and you'd actually break his combo to stop him from doing that. Even better, but it's a lot more riskier, and unless the person knows what you're going to do, you could actually go up to mid-range but don't sidestep. So cancel your blast arts through doing the dash up like that, and then when you're at mid-range, you don't sidestep, you just stand still, and then after he comes to you, you hit the vanish step at a slight delay. So avoid the blast armor trap, because it's mad annoying, and you're gonna be so pissed off if you get caught in it. It's actually dumb. One other thing you could do is, if you know he's gonna actually do the blast armor attack and sidestep, you could double up your blast arts. Very good technique as well. Those are pretty much the options that you've got to avoid actually getting caught in the blast armor frame trap. There's one last thing. It's not many things, but like, he's one of the most OP units. There's not many ways to counter him. If you're watching his gauge right, if you know his gauge is almost full, say you went on a combo, right? If I do that last strike cards, and I know it's gonna fill his gauge if I do it, what you go for is an ultimate. Literally. The ultimate will force his hand. he would have to switch out to stop himself from being damaged. If you use your ultimate in a position where his gauge is almost full, you won't fill his gauge because he'd be forced to switch out. If you can't switch out, he's gonna absorb the damage. Make sure you're in a position where you're using somebody most effective, but again, it's just about the IQ of watching his gauge to know that you shouldn't fill it up, and use your main ability at a time to summon your ultimate arts. If you're using a character, you should be using one that has an ultimate arts, because I don't know what you're doing if you're not, to actually force his hand to actually make him switch out, and that way you can actually have a more even playing field, because you're fighting somebody that isn't Ultra Gogeta Blue. You could avoid him for a while until you get a Rise and Rush. You could also Rise and Rush him, but of course some people have cover change options, so I didn't want to suggest that blindly because you could put yourself in a hole. Yeah man, that's pretty much it. There's not much to go through Ultra Gogeta Blue, but I've told you the main things to be aware of. The counters when you're playing him are very, very important. It's generally watching his gauge. The gauge will end your game if you're not worried about it. All of a sudden you're getting and you're thinking, what? I didn't know, bro. You wasn't watching his gauge. You probably did a blue card, you filled his gauge fast, the next thing you did was a blast start. It's disgusting, bro. It's actually so nasty to be hit with mid-game. You're thinking, damn, I really did forget about it, man. I really did. My fault. All you can say is my fault. You jammed. Better luck next time. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully it was useful. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. Appreciate you guys for getting me to 35,000 subscribers. We're going to hit every single goal next year, man. All my social media links will be on the bottom of the screen. There's the YouTube channel, we've got a Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and the Discord link all in the description below. So make sure to check me out on all of those. But yeah, man, live stream every single day, like I said at the start of the video. 24-hour stream coming soon. Good luck with your summons if you're still summoning. Take care with the PvP scene. Hopefully you can actually get some actual advantages over him. Focus on your team more than anything else, because regardless of if you take all of this in, unless you're just the best player in the world, it's not going to be as effective as if you had a good team. My name is Zakashi, guys. Take care, guys. Have fun in the festival. I will see you guys in the next one. Happy New Year's, man.